What's going on, people? My name is Aaron and welcome to UX Crypto. If you're new around here, this is the best place to be to find altcoin gems very, very early on. And yes, you can fact check me on that, no worries. And yeah, today I'm just going to be looking at the overall markets of altcoins as well as obviously Bitcoin a little bit and just see where we are, right? Because I think a lot of people are a bit worried right now. Are we in a place where we're, I suppose, overbought, or are we not? Right. So that's what we're going to look at today, and obviously show you some potentially good gems as well. And feel free to write in the chat if you want me to look at some stuff, because we could probably get time to do that as well. So yeah, obviously chat, put that down below, and then yeah, like the video if you're liking it and all that fun stuff. But yeah, let's get into today's proceedings. All right. So obviously you haven't seen this before, then you haven't seen it. But yeah, this is basically like, I've got a cheat sheet. If you have not heard of my cheat sheet, it's legendary out here now. All right. And yeah, you can basically get really good altcoins from scoring system. I've been doing this for over a year now in terms of scoring, and I'm using my UX background, which I have 12 years experience in that, and to be able to find the best products. And yes, by these scores we can identify the best products. So I've got a comment from one of my OGs in the space, and he says, what are your top 3 buyers right now? So I can tell you right now, Cellflex, if you've not seen him about, he's an OG as well, and he can fact check me too. I've been here from the bottom of Bitcoin market buying up these dips and buying up these altcoins, and I'm pretty sure he has been doing that too. And yeah, so in terms of my top 3, well, you can see them right here. They're all Patreon gems, right? So all the top 20, you have to join the Patreon to find out my picks. And yeah, I'm just showing you how my scoring system works. So these are a couple of fan favorites that you've probably seen on other people's channels. And obviously they don't even rank into my top 20. All right. So I've got some really dope gems that you guys should definitely be paying attention to. And yeah, if you want to get ahead of the markets before they pump, then yes, you need to be finding out these top 20, because some of them have not pumped at all. And that is great because no one knows about them. And you've seen my track history right now. Obviously, certain coins have got way ahead of before anyone else spoke about him. I've found you the value before everybody, and then it becomes a trend, right? All these other people start talking about it. So, and I'm called to be that person that people copy. It is what it is. We all take influence from each other. But, if you want to be in the beginning of that, right, the adoption curve, then yeah, definitely, do that, right? So I don't know if you know what the adoption curve is, but this is all about adoption of a product or anything, right? And I can show you that, right? So if we look at this, let's try and find it. Is it a curve? If it ever comes up. Here you go. Okay, so what are we? Okay, we in this channel, if you've joined here, we're innovators, right? Or early adopters. I would say if you've gotten to private sales like before everybody, or you're a guy who's making actual products, you're here, okay? You're the innovator. And obviously early adopters are the people who adopt something early, and all these people win, okay? They all win. In terms of, when we're looking to sell our bags, then we're looking at, the laggards, right? These people here are going to be buying our bags and we're going to be selling into them. As much as it's a, a harsh game, that's just the reality of it. And obviously we are going to be rewarded for paying attention early, okay? This is us lot right here. So if you're paying attention to this channel, and obviously you've been paying attention since this last year, then you will be rewarded. And I would say we're not even anywhere close to this yet, right? Like, have you guys been hearing it in the mainstream news yet about Bitcoin? Like, no, all right. I'm not hearing it in mainstream media. You might see it in some random news things, but it's not mainstream, right? And yeah, thank you for your compliment, Selflex. You're a real one. You're a real one too, my G. You definitely are. I've obviously noticed that you've been around since I've been in this buying this dip at the bottom. So I'm sure you're doing very well as well, my friend. And yeah, it pays off to be an early adopter, right? And an innovator. And that's where I've been trying to place myself. And yeah, that's why you guys should all subscribe, because this is what this is about, right? I've seen a lot of people just talk about the same projects over and over again. And I'm not about that, right? Like, obviously I accumulate when I find something really, really good, and I'll just keep accumulating it if I think it's very, very good. But I'm also here to try and find the gems, right? I don't necessarily care if, like, YouTube doesn't rank me on things, because I'm here to try and help people. I've started this to try and find, a community who cares about this, who are the early adopters. And that's my mission, right? I'm trying to find the diamonds in the rough. And this is what all the cheat sheet is about. So obviously join the Patreon, and you can get all the stuff I've been finding out and all the stuff that everyone else is looking at. And Yeah, so what's it called? So he said, "Why all your influencer friends circles shield the same coins?" Well, that's a great question. I'm happy you asked that. Well, I think what it comes down to, right, is narrative, right? They're trying to push their own narratives. Maybe they own big bags of those things, and yeah, they're trying to push that narrative, right? And I think you should still focus, right? Like if you've got a really good project that you think is good, then obviously you can accumulate in that project, and maybe people haven't found that the value in that yet, right? And yeah, I think it obviously, if you keep pushing it, then it will eventually do well, right? But what I would say is, yeah, like that is kind of what they do. My thing is, I'm trying to find the next. Okay, I'm always trying to find the next, and I can prove that to you with back tested data that the cycle's only just kind of getting started, right? And also like altcoins are different, right? Like they have their own cycle in a way. It's linked very much to BTC for sure, but as you can see from here, Bitcoin's going up, right? As you probably know, like, and then with alts, I feel like we're here, right? Like, I feel like we're still going up. And maybe if BTC decides to do a dump, then we'll see a dump again. But we're still not going to be into craziness. So, just to give you an example, like, Bitcoin is here, right? And here is some support and resistance lines that I have drawn for a long time. If you've been watching this channel, but yeah, basically, we're not anywhere close to where the resistance will be yet. And I think that where we are in the terms of a cycle, we're more around here, right? So, this was the last all-time high, but then I think we're here. Okay, so we're gonna have gone up, great, and I think we're gonna have a sell-off at some point. And yeah, but it's just happening all a bit closer towards this now, because obviously the halving is going to be probably around here this next month. And I think we're either going to sell it into it or outside of it, and then we reset a bit, and then everything continues. That's what I believe. This is one of the actual indicators I have inside of the Patreon, but then I've got a whole bunch of other ones, but you can use this in Confluence for sell signal. But yes, all of my patrons will be getting this very soon. In the background, I've actually been making sell signals, and yeah, it's going to be called the Ultimate Guide to Selling. And I've got 11 for BTC, which all using Confluence, right? Indicators. And then I have, I think, 5 different ones for altcoins as well. And yes, so you can be able to know when to get out. This, for me personally, gives me a lot of comfort in terms of when to sell. Because if you think about it, right, everyone has their own strategies, but like, I think mine's better, right? Straight up, right? So some people say, you should have a goal in mind of when you want to sell your altcoins, right? They'll say, oh, if you get a 10x, then that if you'd be happy with that or whatever, right? I don't look at it that way at all. All right. The way I look at it is I'm accumulated on indicators, right? I started seeing the market was basically oversold, and we're going to go back up, right? Supply, demand, right? Pretty simple. But on a macro level, so obviously you zoom out and you can see that. And then I think exactly the same with the top, right? I'm not trying to catch the tops for every single coin. I'm looking at the general market, and that is basically what this is, okay? The general market, we will start seeing this with loads of altcoins, all right? And this is where I will be planning to sell, and this is where all my sell indicators are going to be coming in, and yeah, it's all Confluence. So maybe not all 11 go off, but some of them will. And when they do, I have confirmation to get out, right? And that is when I'll take whatever I got, regardless of if I hit my goal of getting a 10x or a 20x or a 100x. It doesn't matter to me, right? I've done well overall, and that's the way I look at it. I'm not looking at Pacific Coin saying I'm getting out on this level, because the whole market is dictated by BTC, right? And obviously the overall world environment, you could say as well. So that's the way I look at it. But yeah. Tahir's interview with Devi guy was great. Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, I enjoyed that as well. Actually, it was a very good interview. He was very, very intelligent. After that, I needed a coffee. I was like, well, he was very intelligent. So yeah, it was very good to speak to him. And some of the stuff that he was saying was just unbelievable, man. And even after the interview, obviously between us, he was telling me some really interesting stuff about where they want to take the project. So I think it could do very well. The only, I suppose, downside of that project is obviously the narrative it's in. I would love to see it like kind of broaden out its horizons, because I think the technology and stuff they're trying to do seems very, very good. If it could be more of an L1 for everyone, that would be amazing. But obviously, they're niching themselves into the whole, world environment side of things, right? But yes, there's no reason why it couldn't go into other avenues as well. So it's very cool. You've got ZF will blow up soon, 100x. still only 20 million market cap, cake and uni killer. Yeah, man, I actually do own a bag of that ZF, and I agree. I think it's very good because you can actually get paid for doing exchanges, which is great, and that's no one else is seeing that, right? And it's its own chain, which is great. And yeah, I've been doing pretty good on that as well. So yeah, I agree. ZF is pretty good. It's a secret little hidden gem. If you were part of the Patreon back then, obviously I put a buy alert out on that. It's a long time ago. I think I'm up about 10x on that already. So yeah, man, ZF is pretty cool. And yeah. So what we got here, man? We got hello, bro. Afia Games has recently been listed on 3 decentralized exchanges. Centralized exchanges. I am planning to invest heavily. When do you think the right time of how do you think AEG can do? Afia Games, I've looked briefly at that, but we can look at it in a second. And yeah, maybe I'll just look at it now for you. Why not? Let's have a little look on what I was going to do. I'll show you the other stuff I have planned for today after, and then we can just have a look at this. Games. Okay, let's have a look. I did look at this the other day, I think. So yeah, 13 million market cap, not bad. Yeah, in terms of like, you know, it's not even that bad. It's only recently come out. You might see a pullback down to 0.23. But at the moment, we're making higher highs, right? So obviously, if it's dropping, if it goes back down here, we're making higher highs. So it's a bullish like trend actually. So that's not bad at all. And obviously recently coming out, and then yeah, it's got 3 exchange listings. But I think I looked at this. I wanted to see more. So yeah, so what I saw from this, right, was the website's okay, all right. And I just think that overall, like, it's an okay pick, right? It's not a bad pick, but I think, you know, maybe we need to see a bit more from them. Because for example, I was looking at like the game, and the game looks pretty cool, but it's like more of a trading card game, right? And I'm just looking at, can mainstream get into this? I think it's quite a niche gaming like criteria, like all of this type of stuff. I mean, yeah, it's okay, right? But I can think of loads of other ones what I'd put over this one. It's not bad, and obviously the team seems interesting. This guy's experience was interesting in terms of when he's 15 years of high world rated player, so he's a World of Warcraft. So obviously he's been a #1 player. It reminds me a bit of Compete, if you've played Compete, but they've got a really good game, but they don't really have a lot of exchange listings. So this is where this differs, because they've got like a all-star gamer who created the game there as well. But yeah, obviously you have to do a little bit of deep dive with this one. But yeah, doesn't seem bad. I wouldn't say not to, you know, look into it or anything. This is something I can probably put on my list. I don't have this on my list yet. So yeah, I'll probably do that. But join the Patreon if you want to see that. And more than likely, maybe next week I'll put this on and you can join. Join the Patreon. But yeah, cool. So what is this one? What are you guys saying? Hello, you are bullish on meme AI and Turbo. I don't think I've really checked them out. I'm not really a meme guy, you know, like as in I think I've only got a couple of memes this cycle, like not really too much into it. As in, but obviously you can do crazy gains on memes, right? But the problem with memes, in my opinion, is when do you get out, right? Because for example, I'm showing you this altcoin cycle tracker, right? And they don't follow this, okay? They just have a mind of their own, and you need to understand why. So memes are basically vehicles for billionaires to have fun with, right? that's what they're doing, and you're jumping on the train of a billionaire, right? Being able to sell on all of you, right? And that's the thing, you're trying to predict something that there's no track history with, right? And you've got to try and get out on the right point. So my thing is with that, you should kind of think to yourself on that one specifically, maybe you've made a 4x or a 10x or whatever, pull out some investment on that, right? Not financial advice, of course, but I would definitely consider doing that because it's just very, very, very risky, right? So yeah, meme coins, some of them got like 100x recently, right? But are you going to get out? And also a lot of these, they do go to zero eventually, right? Like the ridiculous amount of memes will go to zero. So just be very careful with memes. And yeah, they're not based on any fundamentals, right? It's just a meme, for example, right? So yeah, just be careful. And I think you know, you could still do good in memes. Not to say I have anything bad to say about them. Just, you know, this strategy I have is all about fundamentals. It's all about being able to get great scores for projects, finding the diamonds in the rough, not based off of a random picture or off a random feeling. of like, or a billionaire buying it. It's not based on that. We're getting in before all of that stuff happens, right? Like big money, when they come in, they're going to look at good projects with great teams, partners, coin utility. They're going to look at a website, a great website, and they look at an idea. They're going to look at socials, for example. That's how I grade my projects. And yeah, when these are all strong, then it's a no-brainer. And if it's a low market cap, even more of a low-brainer, as you can see with some of my Patreon picks, right? You know, these three are the last 1 and 2, pretty unknown at this current moment. I haven't seen many people talk about them. And yeah, we're just accumulating these ones, man. So if you want to find out what they are, Patreon, man, join the Patreon, okay? But yeah, so some of the stuff that I think we should look at today, right, is where are we in this current market? Okay, we need to obviously evaluate that a little bit. So what's been going on? Okay, so this is what's been going on recently. Yeah, so this is the last month, and what can we see doing absolutely crazy? So obviously Pepe doing crazy. The meme coins have been doing very good. And then you've got like AR doing 300%. You've got Flow going up as well. Very cool. So if you don't know, I've been bullish on Flow for a while. And this is what I was trying to say to you, okay? Like, not to say that, you know, meme coins didn't outperform that. That's cool. But fundamentally good projects which actually have a good user case and will actually do something, right? And actually going to change the world in crypto, right? Are going to do well. And that's where the big money is going to flow, right? Because people are like logical, right? Like, think about this. One of the reasons I'm bullish on crypto gaming and even AI and loads of other things, but gaming specifically as well, is because it plays into the narrative of being able to be understood by the general public, right? So when retail come in and they're going to pump our bags, right, then they understand gaming. They can see it's good, right? So if you, for example, have a really good website or a really good product, it's a no-brainer, right? Like someone from retail is going to be like, oh, look at this game. This is amazing, right? I want to invest in this game. And obviously the way they would look at it is still innovation because they've never really had the opportunity to invest in games like PlayStation or any of this stuff. You can invest directly on the blockchain, right? Which is very, very cool. So I would just say, you know, remember, retail are going to be pumping your bags. Try and figure out how retail will think, okay? And that is where my cheat sheet can help you with that. And obviously breaking it all down by scores and what they would do, right? What's popular in mainstream on retail? What do they look at? That's what I'll be thinking, right? As a UX designer / researcher, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get in the mind of people and understand how they think, right? But I don't want to be them. I want to be in before them, right? And that is what it's all about. So yeah, and obviously you can see that AI has been picking up a lot. So AGIX been going nuts, right? Fetch, and obviously I have videos and all of these, as in I've been, you know, I don't want to tell you too much about my portfolio, but I've owned quite a lot of AI coins as well, and I'm pretty sure my Patreon do as well. So yeah, but it's very interesting to see what's been going on, right? And there's a theme, so it's like you could say it's interesting. Gala's going up, right? That's very interesting, because obviously a lot of lawsuit stuff that there's been going on with them. But yeah, maybe they're not done yet, right? That is quite interesting indeed. And you can see, like, I would say it's mainly, right, layer ones, memes, AI, and gaming, right? That's what we're seeing on this list. It's very cool. But let's see year to date, right? Let's have a look. Okay, so year to date, Render AI obviously killing it, right? Runes layer one, Casper, yes, obviously killing it. Tau doing well, Injective, Fetch, you know, very cool, very cool. I think this is all very good. And yet Solana doing well as well. Not a biggest fan of Solana, but it is what it is. All right, that's cool that they've done that. So yeah, I think this is very interesting information. Pay attention to this as well. If you haven't seen this website before, it'll give you a little gem. It's called cryptobubbles.net. And yeah, it's just good to have a little bit of a track on the market and see what's going on. Okay. And yeah, so where are we though with Altseason, right? Where do I think we are? So this is the Altseason index, and you can see that, you know, where we currently are at this current moment. All right, so I'll forward it. Here we are. Okay, so it seemed like we got into an season like briefly, and then now we've come back out a little bit, and yeah, going back down. But what is so interesting about this is obviously Bitcoin's been going absolutely parabolic and crazy, and hence why, you know, we're more into, you could say, Bitcoin season, right? Or we was, and we're going back into it. And I think that is what is probably going to happen more than likely for a while, right? So I see that Bitcoin is just going to keep going. Like, it will have pullbacks for sure, but in terms of the money flow is going to go there more, and then we're going to see that money flow jump into altcoins. But when we really will see that money come into altcoins, is going to be on the top of BTC, right? Or when we have an all-time high, or not even all-time high, just break. And this is exactly what this shows in this chart, right? This, okay? So right now you could say, look, Bitcoin's breaking an all-time high or near it or whatever. It's doing its thing and it's going to have a pullback. And then that's kind of where alt's starting to like go up, for example, right here. And we're seeing like, pretty good gains, as you saw from this chart, 10x's and all that. Where's that gone again? Where's it gone? Where's my little chart gone? Here. So we saw, look, from here, 10x's, you could say, look, these are like 11x and all that stuff. So you see 10x's, 11x's, right? And I can show you this from here as well. So like, currently, for example, in the cycle, I've made 12x, for example, on one of my projects. And obviously, if you was on the Patreon, you experienced that too. But yeah, this is an average. This makes sense. I've been in crypto since 2016. This is what we can expect at its current moment, right? And yeah, and then after that, we will probably see Bitcoin dump. And to be honest with you, I hope so too, right? I don't want to wish bad on anyone, but I think that it will be natural in the cycle for that to happen, and it will be way better long term to see much more gains. And yeah, we'll have a chance to actually see a lot of these narratives play out even further. More development can happen. So yeah, I think that would be the best case scenario personally. And then that would mean that altcoins will still have time to come out. So there's going to be projects that haven't even come out yet and they can release, right? And we can see when they release, and they're probably going to come out and be nothing and then turn into something crazy, right? And this is what happened in the last cycle and the cycle before that. So these are going to be areas to still be DCAing into. And all that money, right? All that Bitcoin reaches top money is here, all right? And that's when you need to be selling, okay? So there'll be a time period which, if you obviously, I'm going to be dropping myself so you can on Patreon very soon, and you'll be able to see when I think we should be selling from indicators. And yeah, we're going to be able to catch near enough the tops on a lot of them, right? Even if it's not 100% the top, we're going to get the tops of the overall market and BTC, okay? And that is the mission on the channel. So join Patreon if you want to level up, right? Well, I don't know what you're waiting for. Level up, man. Like, that's what we need to do. I'm not talking rubbish out here telling you, oh, this thing and that thing. I've seen a lot of these influencers out here, some of the other people, they lying about their gains, right? Like, for example, my all-time game, I'm telling you here, right? I'm being transparent, right? Like, so 97x for Cardano, for example, right? Like, let's go onto a live chart and show you the reality of what that was, right? So let's just go to ADA. I've seen people saying out here they've had like a 300x with ADA. I call bullshit, right? I don't want to swear, but I call it, right? Because that's a lie, all right? Like, if we go to ADA, okay, when the hell did you get into ADA to get that, all right? So let's say you got in the very beginning, 0.21 or something like that, right? Maybe you might have then, right? From getting up to $3, okay? These people didn't do that, all right? So, for example, when they saying they done it, I'm pretty sure I got into around about 2 cents, okay? And that was like near enough the bottom of where well, God, I can't even read this. 1 sec. So around here, right? I got in like around here. Look, you can see the 4 cents, and I got in around 2 cents, pretty sure, right? And it went to around that. Yeah, here you go, 2 cents. Okay, so for a time period, we were around there, and then it went all the way towards $3. Okay, hence why it's a 97x, right? But some people say 300x. Where did you get 300x from, mate? Like, do you know what I mean? I just think I call rubbish on a lot of these people, what they're saying. Back test these people, honestly. Some of these people are lying to you, okay? Because the proof is in the pudding, all right? And yeah, but anyway, just talking about that, like our mission, the way that happened, right, was going back to the ADA chart just real quick, was you bought really low when no one was talking about it, right? That's when you want to get in. And if you're wondering, oh, have you missed it? No, you haven't missed it at all. There's plenty of projects out here that no one is talking about, right? There's plenty of them, all right? And for example, you're getting in at these low prices like pennies, and then you're selling for dollars, right? And that's hence why how you make 100x's and all this other stuff, right? And that's what happened, right, with Cardano and many other projects. Other people probably show you their stories or whatever, as in but yeah, you sell up here, okay? And this will be money coming in from Bitcoin, right? When Bitcoin sells off, be ready, okay? And that's why you need a plan. Patreon, I'll be dropping that plan to you very soon, okay? I will announce it on the channel when I announce it to everybody else inside the Patreon. So yes, just be ready for that. Okay. So yeah, but where are we overall? Again, sorry, I'm just digressing sometimes on this, right? So I would say alt season. Okay. So what we really want to be seeing, right, is alt season like going into like the 90s, over the 90, and then you'll be like, okay, yeah. Like for example, here, right, we had a little bit of a rally here in August 2020. And yeah, there's one thing I've noticed as well for sure, like we should pay attention to is narratives come back. So right now, right, we're in a, I suppose, AI narrative and a meme narrative a bit, right? But AI had a little season, right, before. So we did see AI pop off, and I would say that was about a year ago. And this is probably what you could see here, right? Like where we had a big narrative inside of alts doing that. Gaming had a narrative, right? And it's going to come back again, all right? So my thing would be, right, you're trying to find opportunity, right? You're trying to find flat lines in a way, right? So you're trying to be into these projects like here, okay? Like, bit of a flat line. So you could say not much going on, right? That is where the opportunity is. But the problem with, it's the psychological of people, right? They like to jump on the FOMO, for example, right? And they're like, oh man, this one's going up. I need to get into it. But that's cool and all that. But you're taking a risk because you might be buying higher. So the reality is you need to be buying lower when people aren't talking about it, right? Hence why you can use fundamentals to be able to sift through that. You want to get in before all hypes. And when the hype comes and the money and the liquidity comes, you were ready, right? And hence why you can experience this. So don't fall for the hype, don't fall for the FOMO, okay? Like just because something went up and it went crazy, that's not the time now to buy it, all right? That's probably the time to avoid it. So yes, you need to be paying attention to the actual fundamentals, right? Just flip it on its head a bit. It's hard, I understand. I'm human too. We're all human. We fall for the FOMO. So yes, it's just stuff we need to think about, okay? So yeah, that's that. In terms of just buy, okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna show you this. Right, this is from a while ago. This is over a year ago, right? So I've been doing YouTube like not long, man, like just over a year, so probably a year and 3 months or something like that, right? And I started my channel right at the bottom of this market cycle, right? And there was a lot of ways I knew to buy Bitcoin, right? Like at that point, like here was just one of them I was talking about, right? Like so, for example, this is a chart. It's called unrealized profit and loss. And for example, this line, Bitcoin price went below it. And also when it came to capitulation, we was in capitulation, right? And I was watching like on-chain data. I was looking at obviously lots of different chart data, but on a macro point of view, right? Not on a weekly time frame or even listening to the mainstream media. I was not listening to that, right? I was looking at data, right? And that's the same thing with when we want to get out of our bags, like when we want to sell them. Look at data, right? Like forget the market sentiment and what people are talking about, like everyone's opinions, because everyone has their own agenda, right? Remember that everyone does have their own agenda. And they're trying to push their own products, their own narratives. Hence why people just talk about the same projects, right? As one of you mentioned. So they have their own narrative and what they're trying to do. So yeah, and this is how I was able to buy the bottom as of recent times, and I've done this rinse and repeat many a time in the cycle. So yeah, and I'm going to be using the same indicators for selling, not necessarily this one, but you can check them out when they're ready. Yeah, so that is that one. But yeah, let's have a look. So that's a good one to start D chain in. I'm not sure what D chain is. What's some data we can look at? D chain. Not sure what D chain is, mate. Let me know more stuff about that. But hello, Crypto Killer Whales TV show on App TV tomorrow. Oh, cool. Exposure to potential 500,000 monthly users. Cool, man. So this is good. Thanks for saying that. Yeah, I think this is very, very cool. So obviously it's Hello token, right? So let's have a little look again at what's going on with that. So obviously people have fallen out of love with some of this project, but I still think this is very good. Fundamentals are strong on this. So obviously price went down a bit, but the way I view Hello token is very much like an Apple stock, right? So if you ever see the announcements from Apple, like obviously there's like a buy the rumor, sell the news, right? So then people just go, this event's going to happen, and then they buy it up, right? And then they release and show you what they're going to do, and then you'll see a sell off on Apple stock, right? And then, for example, the product actually comes out, right? And then you start seeing, a similar thing again in the charts, right? And then also their sales will come out, like tell you what actual sales happened, and there'll be a buy rumor, sell buy the rumor, sell it again, right? So the same thing stands as well, I would say, with Hello. Like, obviously, they're going to have TV shows out. This is season 1. There's going to be a season 2. They've got another MTV Cribs type of thing for crypto coming out as well. There is other stuff that they are doing. They've got gaming, a little hub as well. Team is strong. I would say, look, you know, base your decisions on fundamentals overall. This has got good, strong fundamentals. And, you know, don't just listen to hype because someone just fell out of love with it. But, they're trying to do exactly what I said, buy the rumor, sell the news. They're just jumping on short-termness. So, yeah, that's all stuff to think about. And I wouldn't say to write it off. And like you said, it's coming out. And that should be potentially quite good, right? So either way, I'll be interested to see it. And it should be interesting. Right? And as I've shown you where we are with the market right now, if you're accumulating things, this might be an accumulation zone for you to look at. So let's have a little look. Look, this could be an accumulation zone for you. We're starting to go back up with a higher high. Oh, sorry, the wife just called. But yeah, so obviously that could be an accumulation zone. Possibly we're starting to turn it around a little bit, but you just want to watch for that. And yeah, so when it comes down to Hello, I think that's kind of summed that up a little bit. Let's see what some other people saying. I've ignored some. So I bought Turbo and made 130% yesterday. I did a long trade on Turbo where, well, nice, man. That's pretty decent. Just know when to get out, man. Just know when to get out, okay? Yep. What is this? So I think the mean DCAing is not D-chain. Okay, I'm not sure, my friend. But you've said, obviously, Selflex, respect your opinion. Have you heard of ZKML? Let's check it, man. Let's check it real quick. ZKML. All right. 30 million market cap. Getting a nice uptrend actually on the chart. That's pretty interesting. And it is, what, 130% overall. Recently come out. Yeah, it seems like all of the suppliers out, it seems, from that. So that's interesting. Okay. That could actually go crazy. And then let's see. Oh, okay. God, I have to like figure this out because I've got this stupid stuff. Let's have a look if it can get on. No, it's blocked the page for me. Blocked the page. So that is annoying. But let's see if I can open this in a new incognito window. No, it's still blocked for me, man. Still blocked. I'll have to check that out later, my friend. But thank you for the suggestion. But yeah, what else was I going to talk to you about today? I had a couple other things. It was this. Okay, so this data is what I want to talk to you about, right? So we've got this. So we've got the market cap obviously going crazy, as you can see, for Bitcoin. But you know that. Let's have a look at data, right? Last time this happened, right? It was here and it went way further, as you can see there, way further. But, you know, this, I think, personally is going to happen again. We're going to go way further than here in terms of the overall market cap. So some interesting data. But what's going on, one of the reasons I think we might have a pullback as well is because of this, all right? So look, CMC, Crypto Fear and Greed Index, and we're in extreme greed at the moment. And we've been in there before and then we dropped that back down. And then we're in here, and I would say, look, we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves, right? And I just think in terms of the cycle, we aren't really due to just go crazy in the next couple of months. Maybe we will. Maybe I'll be eating my words. But either way, my indicators are going to go off, okay? And I'll still be getting out regardless. So I have a lot of confidence in those. But I don't think it will happen yet. So you will see. We will see, right? But yeah, I'm hoping for a pullback. I'm sure all of you guys are as well, because we just like to DCA on this channel, right? We like to get in low. So that's the way it goes, right? I'm not trying to buy high. Yeah, but you can use this information. This is CoinMarketCap's some of their info, and you can just see really cool information from this. So yeah, definitely check that out as well. Yeah, what's this? So Saban, it's raining heavily and having issues with the internet in UK. Weather sucks, man. It does indeed. The weather's terrible, man. But yesterday was nice, right? So that was good. And it's actually Mother's Day today, so I hope you have a good celebration with your mother if she's obviously all good and being here and all that stuff. So just appreciate your family today, all you guys, and obviously most people have mothers and around, and yeah, just appreciate that. And hopefully you have, if you've got a wife and you have to, you know, give her a present or whatever, then do that as well, right? But yeah, I'm gonna have to probably get out of this place because the wife called me, as you saw, so I'm gonna have to go. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video and learned a little bit from some of the stuff I've shown you. If you're obviously new here, then subscribe for great info. Appreciate that. Like the video, leave a comment. Okay, I want to know all your opinions. It's a community in the day, so let's obviously get the community going, right? But if you want to join the proper community where we're doing great things, and obviously I'm revealing, I'm revealing all my gems, right? I'm giving you sales signals very, very soon. Link is in the description for the Patreon, and obviously I've reviewed over 170 projects in depth, and we've got a top 20. So if you want to know what my top coins are, you can find out. Okay, you just join the Patreon, and if you haven't actually seen that, let me quickly show you that real quick, and how to do it. So quickly, where is it? Here you go. So see you at the top. That is the community name. Okay, so UX Crypto, and yes, just join the business class tier. I've only got 34 spaces remaining, and you get the Moneyball cheat sheet. Okay, you also get the buy signals. You can track my portfolio, and you can also, you don't have to do it from Patreon. You can just do a one-time payment and you're in. And yeah, and then just to give you a little preview of that, like here is a couple of, and you can see the community inside of here. Got a lot of people in here, and yeah, loads and loads and loads of coins I've reviewed, and they've all been scored like to perfection. A lot of big deep dives. If you've ever seen any of my videos, I deep dive thoroughly and check out everything, right? So you can see some of these stuff here, right? But you're not going to obviously know the scores from this video. You have to actually sign up to see them. But what does that allow you to do? It allows us to have a top 20 new coins in a cycle. It allows us to have a top 20 overall for coins, right? These are coins that have already been through cycles as well. And also in all these categories, I have top 10. So I have top 10 in AI. I have a top 10 in Bitcoin scaling solutions, gaming, NFTs, metaverse, ETH killers, Bitcoin killers, real world, music, social media, supply chain, infrastructure, and many, many more, as you can see. All right. So what does this all mean? It means that you can get the best possible portfolio from fundamentals. All right. So that's what I would advise all of you guys, not financial advice, of course, but that is how I'm doing my strategy. And this is how we've been killing it so far on the Patreon. And it's all from fundamentals by scoring. Okay. A lot of these other people you're watching, they don't have the time to do this. All right. This is what I'm doing. I'm doing this on a daily basis. I review projects and going in depth. I'm using my 12 years of UX to do that. So yes, that is the game plan for myself, and that's what you will get to join the Patreon. So do it, man. Join it. But yes, I need to get out of here, like I said to you. So I hope all of you are going to do fantastic today in this market as well. And happy Mother's Day again. And yeah, if I don't see you though, I will see you at the top. Peace.